Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Is my voice clear to all of you? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yesterday we had presentation of media discourse analysis. Today we are going to have start literary discourse and journalistic writing presentation. And unfortunately, very few students have sent. Though I yesterday mentioned that all of you have to be ready for the presentations. And I will start today your literary discourse and journalistic writing presentation. I would like to complete everything this week. So let's start. I have got right now the presentation of Kirpal Das. Kirpal Das, are you present?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just wait.
Start.
Wait. My dear,
Yes, sir.
is your slide visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Start.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone. I am Kirpal Das from BS English Department. Today my topic is metonymy. Next, present topic is metonymy. First of all, metonymy definition. The word metonymy comes from the Greek word. A change from name from metra after post behind as name figure of speech from names. The word from Greek word. Metonymy is a figure of
Speak
speech
loudly.
on which metonymy is a figure of speech in which a thing or concept is referred to by name as something closely associated with a thing or concept. Metonymy basically is the word from Greek word, and the mean of this word name of from metra after post. The next. After background of metonymy. Metonymy and related figure of speech are common in everyday speech and writing. In addition to its use in everyday speech, metonymy is a figure of speech in some poetry and much theoretics. Greek and Latin scholar and rhetorics made as a significant contribution to the study of metonymy. Metonymy and related figure of speech in common everyday speech and writing and linguistic and literature. In the in addition to use everyday speech. So next, the next slide, sir. Some example of metonymy in everyday language and literature. People use figurative language every day, whether they realize or not. Common example of metonymy include language referring to the President of the United States or the administration as the White House or the Oval Office, referencing the American technology industry as Silicon Valley, referring to the American adversary industries at Madison events, referring to the American film industries or clarified culture as Hollywood, referring the New York Stock Exchange as well
Explain.
Wall Street.
Yeah, explain. Actually, explain them instead of Reading, explain
Yes.
them.
Basically, the first example of referring the American technology industry in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is the American technology industries. In this refer the metonymy, everyday language and literature. Second is American advertising industry, Madicon Valley. Madicon Valley is American advertising industries. In this metonymy, everyday language used in language and literature. First off, and then referring to New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street. Wall Street is the New York Stock Exchange. In the metonymy in everyday language and literature. In this example, referring the member of the British royal family as the Crown. The Crown is a royal family British of the member. In metonymy is everyday language and literature. Sir, next. Why writers use metonymy? Many people might use metonymy subconsciously in their everyday speech. Writes use in fiction, essay, and poetry of the number of reasons. First of all, metonymy used in everyday speech, writes, fiction, speech, poetry for number of reasons. Metonymy allow writers to express themselves creatively, substituting and the different word of phrase. As long as the connection still makes sense, given writers the freedom to get more creative with language. Metonymy gives writers the ability to make single words phrase more powerful. You can and meaning and complexity to even the most ordinary word by having it stand. So first, then conclusion. Metonymy is pervasive phenomenon, and metonymy interpretation and powerful interpretive and device. In generation 2, it can be used to achieve economic expression wherever and sufficiently silent considered relation will yield an unambiguous interpretation. Among the most silent relation are those provided by the explicit content of the text itself. Allowing these are possible question, we see how the combination of syntax, computation, semantics, and metonymics integration can explain the wide
Give
set of
give
conceptually.
2 to 3 examples from real life of metonymy.
First of metonymy used in
No,
speech
no.
or figurative speech
Tell
metonymy.
me 2 to 3 examples in real life examples
Certain
of
everyday life.
metonymy.
Yes, sir. Metonymy is a figure of speech in
No,
this use
no.
in everyday.
Example.
Every, every,
Don't tell me about, you have already told, mentioned. Just give examples, 2 to 3 examples of metonymy.
sorry, sir.
2 to 3 examples of metonymy in real life,
In real.
in
Sorry,
everyday
sir.
life. No,
Sorry, sir.
thank you.
Sir, can I present Hajra?
Just wait. आपसे पहले दो है उनको पूछ लूँ then.
Okay.
Faiza Jamil, present?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, start.
Okay, sir.
Wait.
Assalamu alaikum.
Just
My name
wait,
is
wait,
Faiza.
wait. Sajda
Okay.
nahi, Faiza.
Yes, sir. Faiza.
Yeah, Faiza.
I mentioned. Yes, Faiza Jamil.
Start.
Okay. Sir, my voice is clear?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Faiza, and today my topic is presupposition. Sir, one. Next.
देख के मत काइंडली इसको एक्सप्लेन कीजिएगा सामने चार जो भी आपके
Yes.
स्लाइड है ना उसको।
Okay. Okay.
आप लोग की
So first of all,
यस
yes. So first of all is what is presupposition, that it is a period assumptions, that is, it is an implicit idea and an inner assumption. Like when we say something or someone says something to someone, we pre-assume the situation before. Okay, it is the definition here. It's the idea that we presuppose when someone says something simple. So next examples. Next.
या एग्जांपल्स
These are the these are the basic examples of presupposition. It also have a type that we can discuss it later. So first example is Sarah brothers Tom ate 3 chocolates bars. It means that Sarah exists and has a brother, and so that's why we presuppose the situations. Sarah and then second example is have you talked to Ali? It means here we presuppose the idea that Ali exists. Some more examples. Next. Yes. I want to do it again and I do not want to do it again. Like in both situations, we pre-assume that the work has done already. Throw again. Like I want to do it again in first and I do not want to do it again. Again in both sentence. To throw this, we presuppose the situation that it has done already. Now, second one is Tom regret that he ate all 3 chocolates bar before dinner, and Tom doesn't regret that he ate all 3 chocolates bars before dinner. Now here also presuppose the idea that it has already ate all the 3 chocolates bar through regret. In both sentence, regret. Tom regret, and then second sentence, Tom doesn't regret. Through regret, we presuppose the idea that it had done already. Next type of presupposition. Next. Yes, these are the types of presupposition: existential, factive, non-factive, lexical, structural, counterfactual. Next, first, existential presupposition. Sir, next, yes. Existential presupposition is the existence of entities. Like when we say that Mary's dog, the person called Mary exists. Like I am saying that I'm Faiza's new mobile. It means that Faiza exists, and she has a mobile phone. And the second is the boy next door has a new car. It means we presuppose that boy exists, so that's why he has a new car. And I am just like I am doing presentation. Like I exist, so that's why I am doing the presentation now. It means the existence of entities. And second one is the factive presupposition. Next, yes, in second example, we have that through the presence of certain verbs, like through the certain verbs, we presume the idea that this is true. Yeah, just if like we say something, it is true because of the certain verbs. I regret leaving the party. Here I presuppose that I left the party through regret. It means that I have done already. And there are some certain verbs: now, realize, be aware, ought, and glad. These are the words that if we have these in sentence, verbs through this we pre-assume the situation. And the second example is she didn't realize he was ill. It means that he was ill. So that's why I am saying that I didn't realize. Through realize, we presuppose the situation here. And the third one is we regret telling him. No, it means we already told him. So that's why I am regretting now that why I am told him. So through regret, through realize, or then regret, we are presuppose something that it has done already. Then we have third example type, non-factive presupposition. And now the next one, non-factive presupposition. Yes, like factive presupposition in which we pre-assume the idea that something is true just because of the certain verbs, that the sentence is true. Now, non-factive presupposition it's not true due to the presence of certain words, like BP assumptions of something that is not true. Like example is here, he pretends to be ill. It means that he is not ill, just pretends. Pretends means like our assumptions is here, we presuppose that he is not ill. I dreamed that I wasn't rich. And the assumption is here that I wasn't rich. And the some of the words that are through this we presuppose the situation is dream, imagine. These are the words that we presuppose something that is not true. And next one, lexical presupposition. Yes, lexical presupposition is that the one word the speaker can act if another meaning will be understood. Like first word, we assume the second word sentence. Mary stops skating at weekends. Its second is the word, like we presuppose that Mary used to skate at weekends. He stopped smoking. He used to smoke. Like I stopped eating meat. It means that I used to eat meat, so that's why I stopped now. We presuppose the idea here, this. And the fifth one is structural presupposition. Next one. Yeah, structural presupposition, we through the sentence structure we presuppose the idea, like WH questions. Structural presupposition in which when we say like WH questions, structural presupposition in which we use WH questions. When did she die? It means that she died. We presuppose this information here. When did she leave? It means that he left. So that's why we are asking that when did she leave? It means she already left. When did she travel to the USA? Like she traveled. It means that's why we are asking, when we are asking from someone with WH question, we presuppose the idea that it has done already, or the person is doing this thing already. Next one is counterfactual presupposition. It is the assumption that presuppose is not only true, but it is opposite of the true, that we are saying that is not true. Like if you were happy, you were being smiled, but in reality you are not happy. We assume the idea. Like in social media, a lot of people are saying that it's not a reality and everyone have a life, and it's not the true. They hear that everyone is happy in social media. If you were my friend, you would help me. It means that you are not my friend. So that's why I'm going to say you that if you are my friend, if we presuppose the idea that something is not true. I wish I had studied medicine. I didn't study medicine. Like we are now, we are saying that I wish I had studied designing. It means that I didn't study designing. So that's why I am saying this. And the person is next to me understand this. Yeah, I wish, if. So they presuppose the idea that we are not doing this or now. These are the, yes, thank you.
How do you see the importance of presupposition?
What?
How do you see the importance of presupposition even in everyday conversation?
Like a lot in our daily everyday life, everyone through a presupposition, everyone can say something like people already presume everything.
Where do we use presupposition normally?
Normally in everyday life, like you are saying that I will take your class. We presuppose that yes, you are going to take our class, so that's why you are saying to get, or you are existed, so that's why you are saying to us that you.
I will take your class. Where is presupposition in this sentence?
Excuse me, sir.
I will take your class. Where is presupposition here?
I will take your class again.
Where is presupposition here?
Again. Like you are existed, exist. You are exist, and you are saying to us that you are going to take our class again, like you were taking it before.
No, you said I will take your class. So here very presupposition. I will
It
take your
means that
class.
you are existed.
I will take your class. It means I am existed.
You
I
are
am
existed.
exist.
That's why we presuppose that you are going to take our class.
When I'll take your class. It means I exist. I means
Yes, sir.
I means how will you tell somebody else? What does I mean?
I can't invert. Sir, can you please
आपने कहा
repeat?
ना कि I will take your class, उसको मतलब I exist. तो आप कैसे इसको किसी को बताएंगे कि कौन exist करता है?
Like, we are the students.
हम्म.
You are not going to say this is to normal people because they don't know you.
अगर
You are
किसी को
going
आप
to say to
बताएंगे
us
I
like,
will take your class, तो आप किसी को बताएंगे teacher exist, तो कैसा
hello,
अजीब सा नहीं लगेगा?
yes, people presuppose the idea that I am a student
हम्म.
and my teacher is going to take my class.
हाँ, तो यहाँ पे ये
It
कहेंगे
means
कि
I am
I
existing.
exist नहीं होगा यहाँ पे.
Yes,
Teacher
I
is present.
exist
Not present.
means
Existence का एक और
these
मतलब है
are
present.
teacher present. These are the types we have here.
तो
Existing,
यहाँ पे आप ये कहेंगे teacher जो
counterfactual,
है,
effective.
it means teacher is present here, or teacher is present in the city, or teacher is present in the university. It shows this thing.
Yes, sir.
Existence यहाँ पे
Yes,
नहीं
sir. You
होगा.
are right.
Existence ही
Like
की एक ही समय, right?
like I mentioned before, exist
क्योंकि logical भी आपने
entities of. Yes, it's a simple. When someone exists, so that's why we presuppose something.
exist का देखें. अब आप किसी कहेंगे I will take your class, ठीक है? Exist इस चीज में नहीं आएगा. जो आपने मिसाल दी ना, उसमें आपने कहा I will take your class. It means that teacher exist. Teacher exist है तभी तो आप ये कहेंगे टीचर इज प्रेजेंट. हाँ, अगर किसी का आपको नहीं पता, ठीक है, और फिर वो कुछ बता रहा है, तो वहां पे एग्जिस्टेंस का आएगा, क्योंकि पहले तो आपको पता ही नहीं है कि वो एग्जिस्ट कर रहा भी है नहीं कर रहा, उसका भाई है भी है नहीं. टीचर को तो पता है आपको टीचर है, और ये आते हैं डेली आते हैं सब कुछ. अब यहाँ पे बात होगी प्रेजेंट या एब्सेंट की, ठीक है? ये मैं आपसे कहा था कि दिस इज कॉल्ड एवरीडे सिचुएशन. अब मिसाल हुआ समीना के दूसरे भाई ने ये कहा. अब आपको तो नहीं पता समीना के कितने भाई हैं, ठीक है? हमें तो नहीं पता. अब वहां पे एग्जिस्टेंस का कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा. लेकिन टीचर क्लास लेंगे तो इट मींस टीचर इज, वी नो अबाउट टीचर एग्जिस्ट. यहाँ पे एक टीचर होता है, ठीक है? अब दूसरा जो सवाल पैदा होगा, आया वो प्रेजेंट है या एब्सेंट है. यहाँ पे आप कहेंगे टीचर विल टेक, टीचर सेड आई विल टेक योर क्लास, इट मींस टीचर विल बी प्रेजेंट.
Yes.
ओके, थैंक यू.
Sir, can I present?
Yeah, just wait. Yeah, is she present?
Yes, sir.
Start.
Hello everyone and welcome to my presentation. Today the topic of my presentation is subordinating conjunction. Is my voice clear?
Yes, clear.
So as you can see the question which is the image which is now in our screen, it portrays a picture that what conjunction is, but I'm going to give you a brief introduction of conjunction. Before going to my topic, I would like to tell you about what it is. So it's a very interesting stationary item used in our English grammar. Conjunction is used to connect any two words, two parts. Means if two words are given to us and we have to connect them. So what we will do, we will go to the shop of stationery shop of English grammar, and they will and we will ask them to give us something through which we can join two words, phrases and clauses. So grammar will give us conjunction. So through conjunction works as a glue to join word, phrases, clauses to make a complete sentence. Next please. So now we come to our topic, subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction is also known as subordinate conjunction, subordinators, and complementizers. So subordinating conjunctions are used to join a dependent clause to an independent clause. Means by using this conjunction we join a subordinate clause with a main clause. Here what does it mean by subordinate clause and a main clause? Subordinate clause means when we use the word sub, which means below. When we consider anything low in position, we put sub. So here it means that subordinate clause or dependent clause is below in position, and the main clause which is called independent clause will be called a principal clause, which exists by itself and doesn't need any additional information, which express complete thought. Next please. So before there are some points to remember that what coordinating conjunction is, which helps join two syntactically equal word, phrases or clauses, whereas subordinating conjunction helps to join unequal stature parts of sentence, mean one subordinate clause and one main clause. It performs two functions. First, it illustrates the importance of independent clause, which is the main clause, and then it provides a transition between two ideas. For example, I will take another example that I visit the office, which is the main clause, which is giving a complete meaning and it doesn't depend on any other sentence. And if I put where his brother works to complete independent clause with a main clause to make a complete sentence, here I use the word where to illustrate the importance and to provide transition between these two ideas. So it will be the example of subordinating conjunction. Next please. Some classes of conjunction. So here we have classes of conjunctions through which we get to know the expressions of time, concession, comparison, cause, condition, and place. So these are the relations indicated by subordinating conjunctions. So through some or subordinating conjunctions, we get to know about the which time is it and what time is it. For example, after, as soon as long, when, whenever, and while. When they will come in the sentence, we'll get to know about the time which is expressing in the sentence. The second one is concession conjunctions. So through some subordinating conjunction, they will redefine main clause by additional text. For example, although, as though, and even though. Some will tell us about the about the comparison between two situations. They include through, whereas, in contrast to, and while. Next page. So there will be some subordinating conjunction will illustrate and tell us about the cause in the sentence. For example, because, in order to, or so that. And some will tell us about the condition, like there will be an expression of condition in the sentence. For example, in case of, unless, if. Place conjunction will tell us about the place. For example, when they will appear, whereas, whenever, where. We'll get to know about the expression of place. Next slide. Functions of subordinating conjunctions. As I told you, that it helps subordinate clause to join with main clause. For example, you need to finish your vegetables. It is a main clause which is expressing its complete meaning. But if you want to have your desert, is the dependent clause, which, if we see the only this part, if you want to have your desert, we will not get to know what why he or she is saying or asking if you want to have your desert. But with the help of subordinating clause, it is giving a complete meaning. And the second, it helps us to make a complex sentence. How? Because when we'll have a expression of anything in the first, for example, while you may enjoy watching TV, they are affecting your eyesight. So why you may enjoy watching TV, this is the independent clause which is now coming in the first, and then that subordinate clause is coming, main clause is coming in the second. They are affecting your eyesight. No, so it will be make a complex sentence. Subordinating conjunction help uphold the importance of primary clause by throwing more emphasis on it. So here, when we put although in the first, it will tell us about the importance of primary clause. Next page. There are some rules of using subordinate clause which we have to remember. So the first one is that whenever we use subordinate clause and subordinate clause appears in the first, so we have to put a comma in between so that they do not mix together, and they will not if we do not put a comma, it will not convey the complete meaning and we will get confused. So, and the second one is, if the subordinate clause comes second in the order of sentence, so there isn't need any use to put a punctuation between them. So it will be like as same as I discussed before, like I like to unwind myself, which will be the main clause, while drinking a glass of wine. So thus we find, which is the conclusion, that we find the subordinate conjunctions are conjunctions used at the beginning of dependent clause to combine with them with independent clause to form complex sentence. Here again, it is talking about how we form a complex sentence. We form a complex sentence when we put although or kind of these sentence in the first to make it more complex, and the main clause will come in the second. Yet, so basically we get to know about what subordinate conjunction is, what main clause and subordinating clause is, and how subordinating clause joins them to get a proper meaning. And while joining them, we get to know about various expressions of time, concession, place, comparison, and condition. So here, thank you very much. And next slide. And at the end, I would like to thank you. Thanks to Sir Anwar for providing us your best knowledge and guidance. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have studied subordinate clauses. So how important are subordinate clauses in our conversation and our everyday English language?
Sir, it subordinating clause is kind of like sometimes in verbal communication, sometimes it's happened that we do not convey the proper meaning. When you just say the subordinating clause kind of sentence, they do not get it. So we need a main clause to join a conjunction through which, so to convey a proper meaning. Because if I'll say something without meaning, without conveying proper meaning, they'll not get to know about it. They'll get confused. So through this, we convey the proper meaning.
Thank you very much. Mushtaq Ali present. Mushtaq
sir.
Ali present. Start. Start, please.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name
Speak
is
loudly and
Mushtaq Ali
clearly.
from-
आवाज नहीं आ रही. Loudly and clearly. Start.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Mushtaq Ali from BS English 8th semester. My topic is metonymy. Today I am going to deliver my presentation on the topic metonymy.
थोड़ा करीब से बोले
ठीक है,
या
सर।
माइक को थोड़ा सा क्लियर करें. आवाज थोड़ा और ज्यादा है. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name
Yes.
is Mushtaq Ali.
Now
Today
right.
I am going to discuss about my topic metonymy. Next sir, please. Hello. First of all, I would tell you what is metonymy. Metonymy is a figure of speech in which a thing or concept is not called by its name, but the name of something immediately associated with the thing or concept. We use metonymy in everyday life, a figure of speech in which one word, the phrase is substituted, a figure of speech in which a part represent a whole represent of the life. Next, sir. Next, sir. Explanation of metonymy. The word metonymy comes from Greek word metonymia. Metonymia. The change name meta after beyond the onomia suffix name figure of speech name. Metonymy is a figure of speech in which thing or concept is called its own, but rather than name of something associated with the meaning that thing or concept. Metonymy is a substitution with the metaphor. Both figure of speech involve a substitution of the term for another. In metaphor, this substitution is based on some specific similarity, whereas in the metonymy, the substitution is based on some understand association with each other. Next, sir. Example of metonymy in literature. ODI Nightingale by John Keats. John Keats used metonymy in his poem.
It is not ODI, it is odd.
Ode to a Nightingale. Here, John Keats used a vintage. Vintage means used for metonymy for a wine. A second is a Julie Caesar play tragedy by Shakespeare. Here Shakespeare used a metonymy. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your hairs. In this play, Shakespeare used ears. Ears means represent the ability to listen. Shakespeare is not asking for everyone of their ears, but rather than he asking them to pay attention, means give attention.
Okay,
for
I will continue your presentation in the next session, right? I'm after few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, I'm starting.
Okay, sir.